Hello, 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 everyone. Good morning. How is the bearish crew doing? How is everyone doing today? Good morning, Waka Waka. Good morning. It doesn't seem like a happy market. It's sort of a mixed market. I wouldn't say it's completely unhappy. Now, we had Best Buy also dialing back guidance, but Best Buy's in an interesting position this morning because it could be set for at least a potential longer term investment once we get a strong bottoming formation just because of the fundamentals. Waka Waka, so annoying YouTube doesn't tell me live streams have to keep refreshing. He didn't put you on the special announcement list, Waka Waka. That's only for people who don't live in cardboard boxes. Just kidding. I'm sorry that's happening. But there's a dedicated person refreshing to listen to my drivel. My drivel is did the market snap? Good morning, Mike. We saw that yesterday, real time during the market overview, with everybody calling at the snap because I can't monitor the news when I'm talking. Good morning, folks. Good morning, Wavy. Let's see. Good morning. Oh, Amit still on his cruise. Cozumel. Well, gee, sort of feel like I'd like to be in Cozumel this morning. It's cold and gray here, 51 degrees. Yuck. Are we getting a lower high in place, or is that we're going way down as we lost pivotal support in NASDAQ at 11,742? We will take a look at the charts. As Wavy says, snap, crackle, pop. Let's see. Yep. Guys, don't forget to click the like button. Very important to Mike's channel. Thank you for that reminder, Ken. Again, and come back after the markets settle down a bit, and leave some comments. We're really starting to get a little better distribution, and we need to keep the momentum going. I see a double top on NASDAQ 1 hour. Good morning. We will take a look, Kalani. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Sterling. Powell to save the day. Yes. Good reminder, Davey. Let's see. Powell, 11:20 Central Time, so 12:20 Eastern, right in the middle of lunch. Let's see what he has to say, but potentially market moving. Good morning, Sashi. Everything is red. Does that mean turnaround Tuesday takes us back up? That's the question, isn't it? See, before I was going to use the title, I like the did the market just snap, because hopefully that'll bring people in, but it was going to be turnaround or tank Tuesday, because turnaround now would mean up. Good morning, gang. If we were up overnight, turnaround would have been down. But turnaround, see, you got to put it in the context. That's why you have to tune in. All FOMC crash markets. FOMC minutes. Now, we don't have the minutes until Wednesday. The meeting itself sees rallies, yes. So, just a reminder, by the way, before you get to that, if you're new here, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting that like button. Longer term people and subscribers and bell ringers, please come back, leave some comments, and like, as Ken said, the videos. All right, let's get right down to it and figure out what we're doing today. I guess Redbook. How did Redbook come out? It's just minor. Well, I'm waiting for that to refresh. FOMC still 88%, 50 basis hike to 12. This is creeping up slightly, but I'm going to see after Powell speaks. Again, still in negative gamma territory. Amplified moves, potential to the upside and downside. Come on. Come on, I guess. Oh, no. Don't do this. Do not do this. Do not pause. Do not pass go. All right. Well, I know we had some stuff here, and boy, it's just not liking me this morning. Let's just keep going, and I'll try to get that working again. Zoom was yesterday. Remember Snap. Bad guidance. Bad guidance. Best Buy dialed back guidance this morning. Down slightly, but Best Buy is actually getting to a very interesting fundamental perspective. Abercrombie Fitch missed. Ralph Lauren was a little better, but still, I do not want to be all in on retail at this point. There's going to be some interesting potential longer-term bottoming plays, like in stuff like Best Buy, but we're just not there quite yet. Let's see if that came back. No. Let me move this over and see if I can get it. Why can't you open the page, Safari? Why can't you open a page for me. Don't know what's going on with that. So we'll remember we do have stuff coming out, and the big one is Powell. We also have the flash numbers coming out this morning. If somebody can put in when those numbers are, I don't know why that page is frozen. It's something with, yeah, see, everything's frozen. Once I go into sometimes with Ecamm Live, things just don't refresh anymore. I don't know what it is. The moment I quit that, everything refreshes. We can only rally for a day or two. How are bulls holding longs with strong confidence? Again, everything to the upside is tactical. Everything right now until we get a longer term sell is still tactical. Hello, George. What am I looking at? So remember yesterday, the blue lines, 62.5, 50. We came up there, which is a potential reversal move. Did not get a close above the 62.5. We did tap the daily rotation zone when we generally get the pullback. Now, what ends the pullback? This is the S&P. Hasn't even pulled back to 50 to 62.5. The key area for me to watch is 38.73. Getting below 38.73, I'm back in short-term short mode and targeting this low area that would be put in, and we could also make another little retest at the lows, but that would be short-term low. Now, on a rotation back up, we've already meet the criteria of hitting the rotation zone with a slight pause move. So I'm still watching for a potential move back up, especially if we start rallying back above about 39.50. 39.50 is key. That's the 50% of the down move. And then we also target the gap. We had a gap in the futures when the market snapped with Snap's bad guidance last night, which was more, some people are saying it's just related to Snap. And now, Snap is a pile of crap, but it's more that you're going to see companies walk back guidance, especially as we get closer to Q2 earnings. Because as I've said and I've talked about even before Bob was on the page with me, I think we're in a recession sooner rather than later. So to the upside above 39.52, that's my bullish mode. We break down below about 39.11, 39.12. My targets are 38.94, and then the major area I'm watching is about 38.79 to 38.74. We start getting momentum intraday below 38.74 or a close on a daily basis below that level, then I'm back to short-term bearish for a retest of these lows. Other than that, it's pretty neutral to still a slight bullish bias. Want to point something out also. Now remember, when we are in oversold conditions, we're trying to turn up the weekly cycles. Now, how does things correct? Same thing as I said on the way up. You can either pull back or we can pause. So pause could be slightly up to choppy and letting the rotation zone come down on the weekly basis before we head lower again. But we are oversold, trying to get out of this oversold condition. That can happen with a sideways move, with possibly a slight upwards bias, or the return to the rotation zone. So right now we're trying to figure out what that is. Double is still in play. It has not come anywhere close to trigger. Do not ignore that, though. Do not get so bearish or bullish, or that you're not analyzing both sides of the market. Right now we're inside bar of yesterday. So we're at a pausing move. Okay, so we're trying to determine what to do, and as again, you start breaking down, I've already given my levels to watch for. NASDAQ, is this a, let's see, we have this little, let's map this out. And it just barely fits in. You got the 1 hour. I'd watch this for the 4 hour though. It still is, it's questionable. You can use these targets though, but really I'm watching this 11.719 area. If we start getting momentum below that intraday, then I'm watching for a retest of the NASDAQ lows. It's pulled back. I got a lot of levels up here. Let me try to simplify this real quick. Let me try to take this off real quick so you can see. Here's the 62.5 and the 50. So on the bigger aspect, we've now hit the rotation zone. The NASDAQ is the weakest compared to the Russell. The NASDAQ and the Russell are the last two I'm turning to for any bullish moves. But we've had the bottoming formation running up to the rotation zone, pulling back to that 50 to 62. So we start breaking below that 62.5 at 11,720. Then I'm targeting the most recent lows, and I'll really start using those 1 hour double targets. To the upside, can't do anything until we really start trading above 11,915. Let's just see where the gap harmonics take us. The gap harmonics, and you really start favoring the gap fill above about 11,944. So 15 is minor, 944 I get into intraday bullish mode for the potential gap fill. Other than that, I have to wait for the move off the open, and if we do roll over, especially if we take out these lows, I will use the double targets. Dow, again, let me take off something here. Dow didn't even pull back. Let me give you a quick level. Oh boy, I hate when you get too many lines. It's hard to stream, but I need the lines. All right. 31,082 is the line in the sand for the Dow. You see the Dow holding up one of the best little flag pattern pullback and trying to roll back up on the open. So if we start breaking below about 31,005, I'll start watching for the bigger pullback in the Dow. But I do like this pattern. Move up, a retracement flag, and a potential push higher. Take off these levels real quick. You can see stalling out. Just trying to clean up the charts a little. Stalling out at the 62.5 yesterday exactly, and pausing with an inside bar. So just watching for the turn move to continue, and you have the overhead move from the gap harmonics above 31,728 starts favoring the gap fill. So then that's the bullish play in the Dow. And remember, if we do turn and make new lows above 31,502, you have to update those gap harmonics levels. But then below that, there's pretty major support at 31,372. Just trying to get some of my lines back on. All right. Let's see where we sit. In April, new jobs postings fell by 2 million to 6.6, according to Revelo. This represents the largest monthly drop on record. Very interesting. Looks like I have internet issues on the cruise. That wouldn't be shocking. Biden admits skyrocketing energy prices are a part of a green transition. Yeah, well, if you put the country into a major recession, that dials back your friggin' green transition because investment dials way down. Ugh. You don't just, and you have to have affordable energy. And you know, gas and the fuel has come so far. The emissions are so far down, especially in the diesel world. Stop trying to force this crap down everybody's throats. Yes, longer term, when all these, you get better efficiency from the green movement, there'll be great stuff, but don't prematurely force it. You're just going to make things even worse. NASDAQ, are we going to get the gap fill, then tank? Waka, you are just so gosh darn bearish. Would the drop below 650 in Tesla test 600 to 560? We'll take a look at Tesla in a minute. Let me just get through to Russell. There's not much going on here. Let's just see if there's something on the short term. Russell, you start breaking down 1168. This is not a double top pattern. That's the bearish play. I'm just not keen on doing much with the Russell right now. The breakout play would be above 1805. The breakdown play is below about 1770. DAX is also sticking in no man's land, so not really doing much with the DAX either. A lot of this is at junctions. Crude, not doing much with this either. Stuck in a little consolidation pattern. There's just not a lot of good setups right now So sitting on hands with this. Breakdown level on crude is about 109. Breakout is about 111.70. Interesting natural gas. I know a lot of people don't follow that here. Interesting natural gas. We've come up. It did reset with the weekly rotation zone, just showing you stuff for educational purposes here, because even if you don't trade it, you see reset with the weekly rotation zone. Now, we do have a longer term potential double that is in play, but long way off from triggering that. Nat gas retesting the high areas. Potential divergence, but on a push higher, we're looking at 931 and then major cluster 963 to 72. I am keeping an eye, though, if nat gas breaks below 780, because then we could see a retracement back into the weekly rotation zone. So nat gas could be setting up for some interesting plays. Gold trying to push higher. Now it'll get real interesting if it takes out yesterday's high. Then I'm targeting 1876 to about 1883. Notes, still we had this, I showed you the head and shoulders pattern we talked about yesterday. Still this little minor double that is now in there, but potentially going to turn into a triple. So I'm still focused on the upside play with this. I am still focused that we've put in a medium-term bottom, short to medium-term bottom in notes, and we're going to take it back into the weekly rotation zone. We got in that first reaction, weekly rotation zone, tap, little pullback, and now trying to push higher. And we went through how we outlined this inverse head and shoulders play yesterday. Dollar index also coming back down, pausing from the head and shoulders top, pausing at the next target on another push lower, 101.29, and then that easily keeps taking us into the weekly rotation zone. I'm watching, even on rallies, for a longer-term top to be put in place. This is also another good place to put on any rallies. You're using your harmonics for snapback moves, but snapback moves are rollover plays. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla looks like that slight gap down today. Again, put on your gap harmonics and watch that 62.5. As Ken said, this is weak. If it can't even into the 1 hour rotation zone, but if it can't even snap back here, you asked what happens if we break below 632. Next area I'm targeting is 611 to 613, then 594, then 573 are my key levels. And then that takes us also, remember, we're sitting right at this 50% level. This 50% level from the whole run-up move, that's this orange line. This is the 50% level. We're sitting there trying to put in a bounce. We break below that, then the next major target is about 490. And then interesting enough, if you get the harmonic close below 490, it actually favors this, and this is one of my long-term targets, my long-term targets, a potential move back to 200 or 187. I know people think it can't happen, but we shall see. What's the play short term? I'm just going to be watching for the gap to see how that works off the open with the gap fill harmonics. If it comes back down into this area from the lows from yesterday, then this double, which only hit the first target, turns into a triple and is off the table. But first thing I'm watching is for the potential gap fill. Can't get super bearish, though. Again, you can use these. Super bearish starts below about 640. Let me give you the exact level. 650. I just go 650, below 650. That takes you below 62.5, and then I'm targeting the most recent lows. These most recent lows are at a very critical juncture. Once we break those, then it's back to super bearish again. Let's see. Good morning, Paul. Good morning. Wavy when our friend Waka turns bullish. I know we're going much lower. I was thinking that, but I wasn't going to say it. We're just going to pick on Waka Waka in his cardboard box. Ray sold it at 1,200. Smart move. He was a secret buyer who would pump and dump. Was he also in the options market? Thoughts on ZW1 after the wheat planting delays in the U.S.? Yeah, the wheat planting was the crop is the planting cycle is looking very poor right now. I am watching for we've pulled back again. We got the close above the 62.5, didn't get to 87. I'm watching it statistically. It still favors a return to 1316 to about 1360 with a pullback in the rotation zone. So I am favoring the upside. We got that little double completely play out. And then we got above the 62.5. So statistically, it's still in bullish mode. And if we get any other crappy weather, you can really start seeing major issues with the wheat thing. The only real thing that starts me getting concerned from the bullish perspective is if on this little move we start getting back below the 62.5, which is right around 111. So that's the only thing that really breaks that pattern in the short term, but I'm watching for a return to the high area in wheat. Let's see where we sit with the Qs. The Qs, of course, we're going to have that slight gap down. The double is still in play at this point, but if you start getting below about 286, I'll start targeting 283, then a potential return to the lows in the Qs. Where else do we sit? Good morning, Lauren. Thank you for being here. NVIDIA. Oops. Nothing's really changed. Let's take a look at short term. I mean, you're going to have a slight gap with the NASDAQ. You still have the potential double in play. It did not get up high enough so that even if we rotate back down, we're still putting in the right side of the double. That's the only play. Other than that, if you want your short-term levels, just draw the harmonics like I have them and start playing between the harmonics. So bullish short term, if we get above 169.50, I'd be targeting 173. We're going to open 165, which is below the 62.5. So on any pullback, I'd be targeting 172. You get momentum below there, I'm targeting 159. Those are my short-term plays. Longer-term plays, it's sitting in no man's land. The only potential bullish play is here. If it rotates back down, though, we have to update these harmonics. You see how well those held up right there. And then the next major target, remember, because we did close below 62.5. If we break below these lows, I'm targeting, because statistically it favors a return to 144. So we start breaking down below these lows. That's the trade for me, back to 144. But right now it's in no man's land. I'm in no market trend with a huge bearish bias. Super Black Tuesday today. Waka waka. Oh boy. NVIDIA earnings on the 25th. Yes, they are. And remember, from a semiconductors are still not a strong sector. I covered that in the sector overview. P to E still very high. You'll get contractions in this. So longer term, I'm favoring the rollover play, but earnings are just, some of these are gambles. I have to look at the options market to see the implied move coming in tomorrow for NVIDIA. And I don't have those up here right now. NASDAQ moving down just before the open. All right, thank you for reminding me. I was running a little long. Is that a little potential double? Ooh. Huh? Off the open, I'm going to watch for that retest of 11,800. All right, with that, I'm wrapping it up. If anything major happens, Snap is a pile of crap. It is. It is. Let's just snap. Let's wrap this up with the stock that snapped. Remember all right, the harmonic statistics work again. Got the close way back below 62.5, and look, 87.5 favored 1466. You're down there already. And I bet you we're going to hit the next harmonic. I bet you Snap's going to $5 longer term. With that, I'll wrap it up again. Disaster mode, I'll come on at lunch. If things are normal, I will be on after the close, and I'll talk to everyone then. You are welcome. Thanks, Sterling. Thanks for all your Twitter posting. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye.